Yeah, well, in the last couple of years, there's been a huge paradigm shift in design in general. If you think about the amount of information that we're bombarded with every day, it's changed massively. If you look back at the 70s, city dwellers were potentially exposed to roughly 1,000 ads a day. Now it's more like 5,000 ads a day. There's been a shift in how we actually kind of present our information to our consumers. We can see the big businesses are starting to pare back how they present themselves to us. So recently Microsoft, eBay, Starbucks have all done rebrands of their logos, and they've essentially got rid of a lot of the information in the logo, so it's a much simpler, clearer mark that they're presenting to us. Because in the last few years people have been accessing most of their visual communication through mobile devices. That real estate is a lot smaller than it used to be, so the mark needs to be clear and concise, able to talk to the people who are viewing the material quite effectively. And so when you have a filter down effect from the bigger brands doing that, they know how their branding is supposed to be working. If you look at packaging design as a good example of how when you walk into a supermarket, you're just bombarded with information on the shelves. So a lot of the companies now are paring their design back because that's what stands out. Previously, it used to be big and bold was what caught your eye. Now the opposite is true. So last month, Ginny talked about the importance of responsive design in our websites. Now, it goes into the actual design of the site, not just getting it to work on the mobile phone, but how we actually present that material to people. So recently, Apple kind of caused a lot of controversy with a thing called skeuomorphism, where they tried to essentially create the real world inside a tablet or a phone, but it didn't work. When they were selling a book, they tried to make it look like a book on a bookshelf, but it just looked fake. So what you're designing now is really crisp, clean art lines, and you're seeing that kind of along the websites that people are designing, and they're the ones that work. They're the ones that get the cut through. A great example was Facebook. Recently, they've gone through quite a few changes. You don't necessarily notice them at the front end, but they essentially have redesigned their website. And what they did was they designed their website for a mobile phone first, and then they've used that design in order to create their desktop environment. And that just shows how one of the foremost thinking companies are saying, this is the way we're going. It's all going online. And again, less is more. It's always less is more. Some people think that simple design is cheaper and easier to do as a designer, but in the main it's actually more complicated. If you look at a one color logo, that's one of the most difficult things to achieve, because a lot of times people will hide behind the trickery that you have with color, or you have with something that distracts you from the main mark that you're looking at. All in all, simple design is more difficult but also more rewarding for me as a designer, and I'm really excited about where the next few years is going to take us with design.